Scientific posters are an important part of a scientific career.
A poster is a way to condense years of work into one canvas, and it's one of the skills that you need to have as a professional researcher. You need to be able to share your research with people.
At conferences, poster sessions serve as an opportunity for researchers to learn about what their colleagues are doing and to meet potential collaborators, future employers, funders, and other interested parties.
You go to a conference and a lot of people will have posters, and you'll be able to walk around and look at different people's posters, get a very brief snapshot of what their research is about, and quite often you'll be able to find them if they're not with their poster and ask them more questions about it.
You search out for people who are working on similar stuff, and then you usually end up working together.
The aim of a scientific poster is to concisely give an idea of what your research is about and what your results, if you have them yet, are. At some point in a poster session, you will be standing next to your poster. The poster itself should give people enough information to want to talk to you about it.
You can kind of summarize what you have done in a poster, and that way it's more visual and you can actually talk to people, and people can come and ask you about your research, you can explain it, and you have a very good visual representation of it.
You want to make it interesting. You want to really make the point of why people should be interested in your research.
Before you start making your poster, we strongly recommend looking at the IRIS resources on poster making, which you can find in Phase 4 of your project materials on the Resource Centre. You don't have to use one of our templates, but you'll make your lives much easier by at least knowing what we are looking for. If you decide not to use an IRIS template, make sure that your own poster still adheres to the IRIS poster checklist.
Academic posters can be quite intimidating to someone who's never done them before, and IRIS provide a set of tools to help students guide them through the process.
Phase 4, right at the very bottom, click it, drops down, and you'll find that there are some poster templates. This is an example here of one of the landscape ones for Big Data Atlas. There's also a booklet there which talks to you about how to pull a poster together, but also how to pull a presentation together, because sometimes you might end up doing both.
We recommend using our checklist. It's a really easy way of being able to make sure that your poster is the right size, you've got all the relevant sections on it, and hopefully will pop and make people want to read it.
And another really valuable asset is the library, because you can see the other types of work that students have done.
Good formatting makes your poster easy to read. As conference attendees walk around the posters, they will be trying to quickly look over as many of them as possible. You want it to be easy to read the important information on yours. Using the right format also makes it easier to print your poster.
So you can make your poster as clear as possible by having some subheadings, so things like a really nice bold title, your methodology, your conclusion, so it's sort of splitting into different sections.
When it's sent through to us, it has to be either in the PowerPoint slide or as a PDF.
Maybe just having one font style or one font colour, or keeping it maybe to a minimum of maybe 2 or 3, just so it's not really busy. It needs to be A1.
General idea is you should be able to stand about 1 metre away and read it. And whatever poster you produce, it has to have some key things. The first thing is school name, your name, and then we have school logo should be there, and then partner logos, and of course, IRIS.
On the computer, actually, a lot of the smaller things that are quite intricate get overlooked because you can't properly see them until they're printed out. And just on a visual thing of people walking past it and spot an error in just a simple thing, actually it puts them off, that they focus on that and not actually the work themselves.
As well as a record of your work, you want your poster to tell a compelling story about your research that grabs the attention of the viewer.
Your title needs to be really descriptive so that the person reading it is going to be really capture their imagination, but also it really explains what your project has been about.
For me, the most important bit is the overview. So it's that small, maybe 100 to 200 words of this is what we've done and this is the significance of the work. I think the hard thing with a poster is that you want to show everyone that you've done everything, and actually that makes a poster very hard for someone else to look at and see what you've actually done and what's worked, and sometimes it's very difficult, and you have to make some challenging decisions of what to leave in, because all of it might be really useful to you, but actually for a poster, trying to keep it simple and keep a story going means that sometimes some of your work gets sort of left behind.
You need to show as best you can that your research has been properly conducted using the scientific method. This means providing clear information on your aims, your method, your results, and importantly, your scientific references. Showing what research you are referencing in your own experiments situates your work in a wider scientific world and shows people looking at your poster that you know something about what you're researching.
The referencing is really important because it gives credit to scientists that have maybe dedicated their whole lives to a piece of work.
You need to recognise other people's work. It's not a problem using it, as long as you recognise where you got that information from.
If you've been working on a poster for a while, it might be hard to see it objectively. Get someone to look at it with fresh eyes. A teacher or a friend will be able to tell you if your poster is legible and understandable. IRIS conferences contain a very broad range of research, so not everyone will know about what you've been working on. You will want it to be possible to understand a good amount of what you're doing from your poster, whether or not someone is an expert in your field. To help with assessing your poster, use the IRIS Self and Peer Assessment resource in the Phase 4 Artifact Guide.
So it's really important to do some formative assessment before submitting your final poster, and you can do that in a variety of different ways.
Within Phase 4, we have a booklet, and within that booklet about how to prepare for presentations and posters, there is a self-assessment sheet. And it's just a checklist for you to go through.
And then it might be really nice to swap your poster with another group or ask some of your friends to have a look at it so that they can maybe pick out any mistakes or give you some feedback about how it looks, just so that you're making sure that it's really user-friendly.
Having someone else to read through it is really important because they will notice things.
If they don't understand it, then maybe you weren't as clear as maybe you'd hoped you'd been. So it's really important that a stranger might come and read your work, and do they understand what you were trying to do? Because if they don't, then you've got time to tweak it.
It will be easier to make a good poster if you start sooner. Chasing up references of papers you read months ago and rushing to make drafts is much harder than just composing your poster as you go. Your poster also doesn't need to be absolutely up to date with your research when you present it. You can always explain where your work is at by the end of the year, in person at the poster session. Sending your posters to IRIS in good time means you can also benefit from our feedback.
Don't leave it all to the last minute. So we really recommend doing your poster, having a first draft, getting that checked maybe by your teachers or your peers, and then you can send it to us and we can also have a look at it for you. And then that process means that you're not leaving everything to the last minute, and you can get lots of feedback the whole journey through your project.
Our deadlines are quite tight. We have a deadline. The reason being that if you are coming to conference, we have to check every poster, and when you've got over 200 posters, that takes some time, and we do check for science content as well. So give yourself plenty of time.